Get this, adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/Wondery. Greenlight.com/Wondery. Looking for your best sleep ever? Sleep Number smart beds are literally made for you. They adapt to your changing needs. So whether you're dealing with sore muscles or running hot at night, your bed automatically adjusts for optimal comfort. Want softer, firmer, cooler, warmer? With personalized firmness settings and temperature control that cools up to 20 times faster than leading competitors, you'll get the perfect sleep environment every night. Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? So you can choose your ideal comfort on either side. And now it's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event, up to 50% off, limited time, exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. See store or sleepnumber.com for details.
This is Ricey. You've been hearing my friend Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, for years on the radio and Garage Logic podcast. I strongly recommend you sit down with Josh for your no-cost, no-obligation, 48-minute consultation on your investments, including your IRA and 401k. You can benefit from Josh's years of experience navigating different market and economic conditions, and he'll always give you straight talk and not sugar-coated advice. Give Josh a call now at 952-925-5608 to book your no-cost, no-obligation 48-minute consultation. That's 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did, and tell him Ricey sent you. Don't forget to ask, why is it 48 minutes, Josh?
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Patrick Ricey is a paid endorser.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
I lost all of this, but I'm only going to need it.
Okay.
Before we get into the great Viking performance, did you see that Rocco told his team they were unprofessional yesterday after the game?
Really?
Who's going to tell Rocco that he
threw
is?
a bit of a tantrum. And my question is, if anybody rose their hand and said, "Hey, Rocco, how come you took Ober out of the game the other day?"
Why did he?
I don't have any idea.
Was he told to?
No, who was telling?
Who would tell him?
They're not calling him on a cell phone, for God's sake.
asking.
No, that's him.
Okay.
That's him. 83 pitches, and he retired 15 in a row. And the bottom part of the order was coming up to the plate. And he gets an extra day before his next start because it would have been Thursday, except they don't play Thursday, so he's got till Friday. So there was no rational reason to take him out of the game.
It's a shame because they're fading fast.
Oh, God, they're fading. Well, their lineup is terrible right now. They got injuries, and they got just guys. Royce Lewis has gone from a superstar to an out, and
What's wrong with Kepler?
Beyond the fact that he's been terrible for a while, he's got, I don't know, some leg. He doesn't like baseball.
Well, does Correa like baseball?
Correa, we think he likes baseball, but I don't know what's going on.
Does Buxton like baseball?
Well, Buxton likes baseball. He's got a bad skeleton. That's his problem.
He really does.
He's got a bad skeleton, yeah. He's fastest guy that ever played baseball, but he's got a...
Okay, how about he plays and just slows down a little?
I think people...
that's a good thought.
People keep saying it's because he runs into the fence. He runs into the fence twice a year. It's other stuff. It's...
well, his hip is bothering him.
Yes, and
okay, Mickey Mantle's hip bothered him. Let's go here.
Well, that's the problem. They don't let him go now.
Oh.
If you wanted to play, Mickey never went and had an MRI taken.
It's the worst thing that happened to baseball.
Yeah, I know. If they'd had an MRI machine, Mick would have played 60 games a year max. So he had terrible knees too, and hips and everything else. But you could also. If you ran over in a gap and made a nice catch once in a while, you'd be fine. But these guys roam miles. But one of the great changes in baseball is outfield defense. How will they cover the gaps? Now, once in a while, you get a guy like
Except
Manny.
for the White Sox.
Yeah, except for the White Sox. But once in a while, you get Manny Margot's who get there and don't catch it. You know, as I use this, what Casey Stengel said about Ron Swoboda when he was young. He leaps for him and they ain't there. Yeah, right. So
I love that line.
yeah, but that Manny's a hack in the outfield, and
Which I thought the reason they got him is he was a good outfielder. I don't know why I thought that.
Mark Topkin from
It's really a shame those guys are not in the lineup because they would have had a chance to at least be a strong wild card potential.
God, yeah,
They're still in the wild card right today, aren't they?
3.5.
They're 3 in front of the M's, I believe, right?
The M's 3 or 3.5 in front, but you're gonna have to win some games.
Yeah,
you got. Angels got the second worst record in the American League, and it would be very difficult to have the worst with the Mighty Whiteys.
Right.
Who, by the way, won 2 out of 3 in Boston, I think.
Really?
2 out of 3. Yeah.
Someone tweeted out a photo recently of a game at whatever guaranteed
when they were
rate.
all running into each other.
No. It was the crowd. There couldn't have been 100 people at the game.
Really?
And I'm not joking. And it said, thank God, they have the spinning deal when someone hits a home run. It said, thank God the electronics still work for these raving fans. There was maybe 100 people at the White Sox game.
Wow.
I will say that I was looking at baseball attendance last weekend, right? And Saturday, Sunday, even Monday when they played, nice crowds, 30,000. Tuesday, half of what it was the day before. Once the brats go back to school, man, people stop coming to the games. You'll have this series with the Angels, they'll have 9,000 actual and announce about 14, I would think, for about the whole time this day.
Because it's Trout playing? He's not playing, is he?
He's not playing. Plus, people, A, they don't go in September. B, they're mad.
Yeah.
And
except there's a C. The weather's perfect.
Yes.
It is a beautiful night to go to a ball game.
It's gorgeous.
It's getting
terrific.
better through the week.
It's going to be in the low 80s, right?
I listened to the entirety of the Yankees beating the Mets on Saturday on the radio. I was driving to Chicago.
Okay.
I love Pat Hughes.
Oh, God, he is great. Yeah, he was.
Never once did I learn if a player ever won a Lego championship in the 6th grade.
Wait, isn't Pat Hughes the Cubs guy?
Yes.
I said I listened to
Used
Cubs
to be
Yankees.
the Brewers
Oh,
guy.
I'm sorry. I thought you said Yankees Mets. I'm
Used
sorry.
to be the Brewers guy.
And he's got some very dry humor.
And he's got the Coom dog.
He's got
Coombs.
Coom
Got Coombs
dog.
with him.
Coom is very popular and very mediocre, but a great guy.
Yeah.
Everybody knows they like Coom.
Yeah.
He's a guy.
He's a guy.
Yeah.
He is a Chicago guy, owns a restaurant. And
But at one point, Coombs said of a player, he's really excited, and he says he'll get over it.
Yeah, Hughes is great. I think they just put him in the Hall of Fame a couple of
Oh, really?
The Mike Men section of the Hall of Fame a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Forget who I was listening to. It was somebody national, maybe Dan Patrick or somebody, but he had Coomer on after they won the World Series.
Yeah.
And they played the clip, and Coom just basically said, I just stayed out of his way. Because, he just said this is his moment, right? It was really, really cool listening to him talk about that when they won the series.
Worst thing ever happened to the organization, though. They've been
They lost their charm.
They've been boring as hell ever
Right.
since.
That's why we can't win the Super Bowl.
All these guys who called up and said they went and watched the game on their little battery powered
No, they
TV
went to cemeteries.
With their dad's grave. And
Yeah.
we don't believe that horse crap. You're lying. We know you're lying. But you're getting yourself a little pub for that. So, why would you do that? Why not stay home and watch it on the big screen?
Right.
I don't know.
With replay. Come on.
Yes. Yeah. Dad doesn't care. Dad doesn't care, for God's sakes.
I saw the site of the torn down Northwestern football stadium.
Boy, if they were smart, they'd stay right where they are. They're right on a lake.
Yeah,
They're
15,000 seats.
10 feet. Yeah, that's enough for them. As mediocre as they are, the new field is great.
Guess what the tearing down of the stadium has resulted in?
We found some asbestos.
No.
No. Hold on.
Rats?
Hold on. Oh.
Rats. Lots of rats.
Everywhere now the surrounding neighborhood's got a lot of rats.
Oh, yeah.
Are the residents unhappy?
Well, I'm sure they're
And
taking
nobody
care
wants
of it.
Nobody wants rats.
You don't like a rat.
No, you don't want rats.
If we ever had a rat, Katie would leave the house
And never return.
check into a hotel and say, tell me when you moved, to a 12th floor of some condo.
Is that when you would say, boy, the rats are still here?
Yeah. I can't get rid of them.
I don't know what's going on.
I'm odd that I've never seen any rats. I don't.
Never?
No, I don't think not in our. A lot of raccoons running around and stuff like that, but I don't think we've seen a rat.
That's why you need a cat.
We did have a couple of. Well, we got the feral cats in the neighborhood.
True.
That might have something to do with it. So, although I'd rather have rats than feral cats.
Pat, I want entire credit for predicting years and years ago exactly what's happening in the NFL.
Oh yes.
It's a reality TV show.
Yes, it
and now
is.
you got the two wags, Tay-Tay and Brittany. They're at odds.
They're not because
Brittany's a
Mahomes and his
trumper.
wife are a trumper, right?
Now, on Thursday night's game, they didn't sit together.
No.
But then they might have reconciled because they were all at the U.S. Open together. And I further predict that this social life that Mahomes and Kelsey are leading will be proved to be detrimental to their season.
Well,
They looked pretty damn good on
they
Thursday.
sneaked out another one on Thursday, yeah. But,
With help from the officials.
yeah, a little bit.
Wait, is Mahomes losing you? I thought he's your guy.
No, I love him. It's
okay.
great. But I just think that it's become too obvious that this is a reality TV show.
Well, the Tyreek Hill, you mentioned, right? Tyreek Hill. from Miami.
My opening scene would be, okay, I'd have Tay-Tay and Brittany, and then I'd cut to Miami, and Tyreek's on the ground getting handcuffed.
Yes, because he's a black guy driving fast.
In Miami, yeah.
And they don't know that it's Tyreek. Now the cop has been put on administrative leave or something.
Well, not because it was Tyreek. It was because he was beating him up.
But Tyreek took it well. He caught an 80-yard touchdown pass and then had his. So while they're out there playing, while the defense is out there, Tyreek's saying to him, now, if I catch a touchdown
Put
pass,
the handcuffs on.
pal, yeah, come over.
It's reality TV.
Arrest me in the end zone.
Yeah.
Then he scores from 80 yards out and has the guy come over. The NFL, as funny as that was, and the fact that it'll be seen all over, they couldn't have approved of that.
no.
They couldn't have approved.
Now, I don't know where he fits into my scheme, but I have a new favorite NFL player,
Who's that?
David Montgomery.
God, did he run?
Holy mackerel.
He was.
He single-handedly got him the game.
Ran it down the
The
field.
whole field.
Yes, I said
Every
the same
play
thing.
was him.
I said the same thing. If I'm the Rams, I want a urine test.
Oh, my
what's
word.
good, I mean, now that right tackle of theirs will knock the crap out of
Sewell,
you too.
yeah, he's a
Sewell.
good player.
But the guy just
Never
was
stopped.
possessed.
He was.
He was absolutely possessed and went down the field. And the Lions, by the way, the Lions aren't going to get it done with Jared Goff.
No,
Sorry.
I
They're
think
not
they
gonna
already
win the
regret
Super Bowl.
that contract.
Yeah. They all regret their quarterback. Not as much as Cleveland regrets signing Deshaun Watson to a fully guaranteed hundreds of millions of dollars. He can go buy his own massage parlors now, but he's terrible.
Yeah, he's not very
terrible.
good.
Anyway,
How do you think
right.
of old Sam Darnold?
Sam was pretty good.
Yeah.
Vikings looking. Listen, who's been the optimist?
You have been.
I have been the optimist. April 20th, I looked it up. I wrote a column saying Vikings win preseason because they got rid of the Kirk boy. They got rid of that $50 million, right?
Yeah.
And they got the best player in the draft, that Dallas Turner, the 15. He's going to be the NFL Rookie of the Year on defense. Turner, he's a monster. And they got rid of Danielle Hunter, so they got three guys basically for the price of him, who were all just as good as him yesterday.
The Van Ginkel kid.
The Van Ginkel. They got Turner, and they got, Green.
Oh, Grenard. Jonathan Grenard.
Grenard, he's good too. And they got more options defensively.
And Cashman.
Cashman. They got more options defensively, and they're Darnold was.
San Francisco's next. They ain't the Giants.
But but they're not as great as
I suppose that game's interesting tonight just to see how Rodgers does.
San Francisco's missing their left tackle.
Trent Williams, is he hurt?
Yeah, he's not playing. And contract dispute too, and I think he reported, but he wants money. And
they got the bad vibe. Is that what you're saying? The Niners?
I'm just saying that they had to let some people go because they were way over the cap. They still got the mediocre quarterback. I'm not a Brock Purdy
Who
fan.
they're going to have to give $40 million to.
I wouldn't give it to him.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't either. But
Who, Purdy?
listen, in retrospect, one of the greatest events in Viking history was when they lost to Daniel Jones and the Giants here in the playoffs because it allowed them to get rid of Kirk. The poor Giants got stuck with this stiff because, they actually covered the receivers, which is something they didn't do when he played here. And not having Kirk, they were able to move up in the draft and get Turner and improve their defense. They won't have to pay the guy for, and here's the good news. Now that we've seen Sam Darnold, we can trade J.J. McCarthy next spring. We get a pretty good draft choice.
I listened to the Giants-Vikings in its entirety on radio. Dude, that was coming
their
back.
Broadcast or the
I
Vikings?
Got their broadcast. I didn't have to.
Lucky son of a gun.
And boy, they were a little different. They were saying things like, "They don't look very good."
Well, did you see their unis?
Yeah, I love those. I love those.
I would have been embarrassed to go out.
Oh, I thought they were neat.
I think part of their problem was they were embarrassed to go out.
Well, they look like Charlie Brown sweaters.
Yes.
Well, wasn't it a tribute to the 100 years or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that shows you what the NFL was when it started. You had to dress everybody like clowns to make it different than the NFL. It was nothing. College football was everything. It was nothing. And
but they said the theme of the announcers was the Vikings look ready for the regular season. The Giants are still playing a preseason game.
That was their thing.
Yeah.
Well, the quarterback
He's not very good. Who is it? Jones?
Daniel Jones.
Daniel
Who
Jones.
was great when they beat him in the playoff game here 2 years ago, which was his last good game. But then they paid him. But why has the NFL decided that every time a new quarterback signs, he's got to get more money than the last one? They gave Dak 60. Mm-hmm. What is going on?
And that, by the way, that Dak, that was an extension on the 60 he's being paid this year.
Yes. So why did they do it?
I don't get it. And they waited until 2 hours before kickoff to do it.
Meanwhile, old Zim, crotchety old Zim's defense looked pretty good.
You know who's a
they
monster?
They were knocking the crap out of those guys.
Micah Parsons is
he is, and
monster.
then they got the other guy, our guy, right? Lawrence, isn't that our guy?
Lawrence.
The linebacker.
He didn't play for us, did he?
Gopher. Isn't he the Gopher? I don't know. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
I don't know.
PJ's club didn't have much of a problem with the Rams or whatever the hell their name is.
How big a humiliated jackass do you have to be to crowd surf your team after you beat Rhode Island?
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yes. Okay. You beat Iowa, do your deal.
Yeah.
You beat Rhode Island, just humbly walk off the field.
Yeah.
For God's sakes, St. Thomas and them would be a battle.
Yeah.
By the way, our Tommies fought back. They're
0-2.
Yeah, but after getting humiliated by Division II Sifu Ku, they played Northern Iowa and they gave them a good game. So
nobody's been humiliated, Pat, like the Notre Dames.
Oh my God!
Holy mackerel!
Would you like to hear the Northern Illinois call of the blocked field goal?
I hear it's pretty good.
He's lining it up. 5 seconds left. NIU up 16-14. 62-yarder. Snap, hold, Jeter's kick. It's blocked! It's blocked! It's blocked! Picked up by NIU! Picked up by NIU! The Huskies have done it! The Huskies with the biggest upset in NIU history! They come to South Bend, Indiana, and they knock off the number 5 team in the country.
NIU history. What kind of history is that?
I don't know.
Jerry Kill coached there. You know, that's where we
that's
hired
true.
him from. They came in here and beat the living bejeebers out of. By the way, I believe Thomas Hammock, who coached Northern Illinois, was a Brew assistant
Really?
When he was a Brew assistant, I'm not sure he was still there in 2010, but the coach of NIU, when then Northern Illinois came in here and kicked the hell out of Brewster on a night game, and basically that told you that Brewster was going to get fired that year, 2010.
Because isn't who was the one offensive coordinator? Because Brew had a few of them. That's now the head coach. Is it Arizona? He replaced Brew when Brew got fired. Judd Fish.
But he now at Washington.
Or is it Washington?
Arizona, went to Washington.
Okay, that's what I thought.
NIU is in DeKalb, Illinois.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Coach Kill coached them, and they were pretty much a power there for a few years. Ron, who's a guy from Minnesota, I think he was from Anoka, coached them for a few years too. Northern Illinois. After Killer, maybe.
I can look it up.
I'm not sure. Then he went to Temple, or they coached him from Ron somebody after that.
That call, by the way, reminded me of the Holy Cross Gophers.
Oh,
how the excitement in the kid's voice doing the game.
Yes, that was one of my lower moments as a human being when we were at the NCAA basketball, and the Gophers lost the whole number 1 rated Gophers lost to Holy Cross, and they were saying, Ricey, what was the Gopher score? I said 4-3. Holy Cross!
What years were you looking at post Jerry at NIU?
Post Jerry.
Dave Dorian?
No, not him.
Rod Carey?
Rod Carey.
Okay.
Dave Dorian went to North Carolina State, where he might still be.
Okay.
I don't know, after that, or Wake Forest or someplace down there. But it was a noble victory, and Max Brosmer, the new quarterback, looked very comfortable against a Rhode Island team he'd played 3 times previously when he was at New Hampshire. So
who do they have next?
they have Nevada. They paid Rhode Island $500,000 to come here. I don't know if they sold $500,000 worth of tickets, but they're paying Nevada $1.2 million to come here because
Notre Dame paid NIU 1.4.
Yes, to get beat.
Yep.
To get beat, yes. That's the deal now, that all these FCS mismatches, which are ridiculous, they do it for their programs to survive. So some of them play 2 money games instead of just 1. But you go play Alabama, you get over $1 million.
They're playing Wisconsin this weekend?
Yes, at
Who is?
Alabama.
Alabama, yeah.
At Wisconsin?
They're going to Madison.
Yeah, and they
Is
have
Wisconsin paying Alabama?
Well, they'll probably do a home and home, right?
I think the Badgers go back there in 2 or 3 years, so they probably give them something. But
But you don't have to. They're 2 good teams. You don't pay them.
No, but they got a home and home. It's not Alabama's not coming up here for nothing when they could be playing at home collecting $5 million in ticket money or something like that. So, but Alabama had a very unimpressive opener though, 27-13.
I didn't see their game.
Somebody bad they beat 27-13 or something. So anyway, but the Vikings, meanwhile, the Packers. We're supposed to fear the Packers this year. They're 0-1 and their quarterback got hurt.
Looks like he got hurt badly.
Badly, yeah. They said 3 weeks. It's going to be more than 3 weeks. When he comes back, they'll be about 2-8 because they don't have a quarterback. So forget them. They're gone. And the Bears looked awful. Caleb Williams, I watched some of it. Some of the most inaccurate passes you could ever hope to see. He passed for 92 yards.
I was monitoring the Fox pregame show, and they did a little thing about him, and then they did some studio stuff, and then they did some on-the-field stuff, and then they showed his painted fingernails, and they panned back to the studio, and Terry Bradshaw and Howie Long are just saying, what in God's name is going on here?
Did they say that?
Well, Terry said... He had the look of, how did he phrase? He said, can you imagine if in 1975 I showed up to a Steeler game with painted fingernails? I thought.
Chuck Noll might not have approved.
No, I don't think so.
Chuck Noll might not have approved. Yeah. Well, he played with a guy with painted fingernails. He was terrible. Yeah, he was brutal. I didn't see a lot
So
of it.
it's the Lions and the Vikings.
Yep. And the Lions, we got a better quarterback.
Yeah.
But the Lions, that Campbell, he doesn't. I don't think he gets much sleep before or after a game. Do you?
You think he's a little wired?
He's a little bit wired. He would say like this the whole time.
You see, he's now got a commercial.
Yes, which isn't a bad commercial.
he does.
The Applebee's commercial.
He
It's
does
pretty
it
funny.
well.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It's bad. Like covering up the mouth for the thing. It's pretty good.
Aren't we at a time when we should be hearing about the Wild reporting to camp?
Pretty deep.
It's September 10th tomorrow.
Next
Where are
week.
they?
I think this week. Isn't it? The
I don't know.
13th?
That's why I'm mentioning
I thought
it.
it was the 13th and the 14th, but I'm not sure. I don't know.
Joe, you're not hearing about it because we got Viking fever.
We do have the fever now. 1-0, baby.
But I don't know when it is. One of these days. I mean, Bill and I and Craig went out for dinner together. I should know, but I can't remember. Right?
Do you want to work in the pause?
Sure.
Okay. We need to hear from your friends at the Valley Group of GM dealers, sir.
Well, I'm very proud to do that. Boy,
Wait a minute. Joe, a first occurred a week ago Monday.
We're doing Monday on Monday?
Well, that too. I got to go on a Royce walk in the convertible that he got from the Valley Group.
Yeah, not a very long one.
No, it was a short walk.
Is this when you told him to back in? He said, I don't back in well.
No, I don't back in.
Why? You can't turn your head or what?
I don't know. I just when I look in the mirror, I don't know. I don't know what it's
You
telling
can't do
me.
it by mirror. You got to turn around.
I don't back in well.
No, I'm not.
Not backing in.
I don't back in. Plus, now this has got nothing to do with Jim Paul and Brett Paul. They might actually believe in it. But all these guys who now go to the Twins games,
Yeah.
and they're in the ramp there.
Oh, yeah.
They all
We
like
gotta
to back in.
yeah.
You got to okay, bleeper.
They're showing off,
Show
aren't they?
me how good a backer inner you are. Oh, hey, you know what? I know what you do when there's snow in the forecast. You pop up your windshield
they're
wipers.
definitely got the
They're
wipers up.
windshield wiper popper uppers.
I don't think you should be mad at those people. I just don't understand it.
At them. They just want to pretend like they're smart.
In
The
fact-
guy who backs in and the guy with the windshield wipers, they are announcing to the world, I'm smarter than you.
Joe, in fact, every year,
I'm
Patrick
not-
gets a text from me, and it's the first time I see a
time.
Hubbard
You take a
employee with the
picture?
wipers up. I said, it's the season, baby.
Yes.
I said it to Patrick.
You know who's a big wiper pop? Ross.
Oh, it's Roscoe.
He strikes me as a wiper popper.
Roscoe is a wiper popper. Upper. Yes, he is. He's a wiper popper. But listen,
Hey,
Jim Paul
I don't
and
think
Brett-
there's anything wrong with it. Neither was Jim Paul.
Jim Paul and Brett Paul, window wiper popper or not, go on out to Jim Paul's in Apple Valley and Hastings, Buicks. 4 different kinds of SUVs. A station wagon. Now, what are we calling the station wagon? Do you know? You know what the name of it is? I don't know what it is. But you
I've
assured
said
me it's gorgeous.
I thought for a minute, at first glance, it looks like a Mercedes wagon.
Neat little vehicle. Then we also have the big honkin' Sierra GMC heavy duty trucks, all that good stuff. Factory rebates now, low interest rates, and perfect shopping weather. Thank goodness the last 10 days have been beautiful.
I get it for you.
And Hastings and Apple Valley, my guys in Apple Valley, and hey, the convertible
Don't
still going
end this
strong.
yet. I'm gonna get it.
Still
Yes,
going
sir.
strong. 2019, that car is still going strong. I went up to Collegeville the other day. Hour and 5 minutes with a stop. It's just going great. So
I think they're the Regal.
and the Regal. No, the Regal wagon. Regal wagon.
I'm
the
talking
Regal.
about the wagon.
The Regal
I think it's a wagon.
because my convertible is a Regal that's got a different name because it's a convertible. So,
Oh,
but
wait
the
a minute, I'm
Regal,
looking at used ones. I don't want a used one.
no, new wagon. Jim Paul, Brett Paul, Valley Group of GM dealers. New wagon. Buick, come on, we
I'm
can do
looking.
it.
I'm
We
doing
can
as
do-
fast as I can.
Okay, all right. This is now hang with
who
us.
else should we insult before we Joe finds that information?
Windshield
The
poppers.
wiper popper.
I'm not finding it.
Okay.
It's a neat car.
Neat car. Okay. Go out and say to Jim Paul, give me one of those neat station
Rice
wagons. Let me
Joe
see it.
says one of those neat wagons.
They don't know what the hell it is, but they want one.
Jim Paul, Brett Paul Valley Group of GM dealers, Apple Valley and Hastings. Go for it.
Okay.
So, Reavers, you went to see the Jordan Hubman football game on a gorgeous night, right?
Thursday. No, that would have been a week ago Thursday, but I took in the Mankato State game on Saturday night.
Saturday, you said a nice crowd.
Oh, my God, it
and
was
your
packed.
Mavericks rallied to win right
They
at
did.
the end of Bemidji. A great game.
The best, though, is when you. So I usually park over towards where the baseball field is, then I just walk up the sidewalk there because, and especially if I have the boys with me. But we walked in, and the little hill on the open side of the end zone away from campus.
Just sat there.
There was nowhere to stand because that's usually where I stand with the boys because they like chasing the extra points and stuff when they kick the ball. But I could not believe the crowd. It was packed.
I'm telling you, nobody wants to stay home anymore.
Right.
Last night, going to Jordan on Sunday. Last Sunday, I'm going to Jordan. 3 out of every 5 cars turn into that Renaissance Festival going down there.
Then they go to the candy store.
They got 225,000 people at the fair. What? Stay home, watch TV once in a while. What's wrong with you people?
Hey, does the NFL have bye weeks anymore?
Oh,
yes, everybody's got a bye week.
Well, there's no bye week this week.
They don't start till week 4.
They don't make anybody take their bye this early in the year, but they. You know what you want is the late bye, so you can get healthy for the playoffs.
In fact, Joe, you ready to add to your reality television show?
Yeah.
There are some teams that say they are disrespected when they get their bye week early.
Too early.
They don't believe in us.
Really?
No one
By
believes
the
in
way,
us.
Why were you ripping the Bears? They won.
Yes,
But they were down.
Defensive touchdowns.
They were down 17
They
to nothing.
returned a kick and they scored on an interception.
They won. They beat
Offensively.
Tennessee.
Look at their offensive stat.
Well, I don't really care. I'm just pointing out that
the guy passed the greatest rookie in history with the with the painted fingernails, passed for 92 yards.
14 of 29 for 92 yards.
That is not good. You know what you won't have? You won't have a good QB rating with that.
No.
Oh, you got to have a good QB
Our
rating.
guy was 113.
Yep.
Kirky Boy was 59, and Caleb Williams was 55.7.
And the thing is, someone had pointed this out. Pittsburgh's got a pretty good defense.
Yes.
But when you don't have Justin Jefferson to throw to, and you don't have Stephon Diggs to throw to, your numbers can go down a little bit.
I turned on Kirky's game, and I'm not lying. The first play, so 8 seconds after I turn it on, he throws an interception from me to you.
You're
There's a
kidding.
guy about 5 yards away from him, and he flips him the ball. And I chuckled. I admit it. I chuckled.
You chuckled.
I chuckled.
Did you tweet? Where are all you Kirk Obos now?
Yeah, well, kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I did say-
18-10, they lost to Pittsburgh.
Yes. And Pittsburgh is mediocre offensively, but
Well, because Fields had to play because Wilson's hurt, right?
he was okay. He was. They
didn't see
should be
much.
playing him anyway instead of.
I did not hear any of Brady in the announcing booth. He wasn't getting rave reviews.
He isn't going to be controversial. Is his
No,
problem.
that's the problem. He doesn't really say much.
Although Collinsworth last night, Collinsworth at the end when the Lions have to score a touchdown to win the game, talks about, well, they'll just get it in position here now, and they can just be in position now. And Tirico must have looked at him like he was an idiot, and then somebody in his ear said, "Of course they do have to score a touchdown," but he was
Right.
He was thinking it was 5 years ago, and you could still
Kick the field
kick
goal
a
to win the
field goal,
game.
which
yeah.
was the rule changed when the Vikings lost to the
So it's been since 2010.
2010.
You score a touchdown, you win.
Yep.
You kick
Yeah.
a field goal, the other team gets a chance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And people think it's unfair now that they went down and scored a touchdown. I bet the percentages of touchdowns scored on the possession is well under 50%.
You want to save some time in your league?
But here's the deal, Joe. Then if you're playing defense and you stop them, you can win it with a field goal.
Yep.
Right?
How many kickoffs were run back yesterday?
None.
Then just start let's go.
I know. It's the same, but we got our whole new system now.
This is ridiculous.
And these guys, about every once in a while they start these half-hearted runs, even though the guy's catching it 8 yards back and he ain't going to run it out. It's stupid.
It is stupid.
How many? I bet we didn't have 5% run back.
You're probably right. I watched a little bit, and I didn't see a single one. Yeah.
You're right. Hey, it's football. People are supposed to get hurt. What they figured putting it on the 25 or the 30 would cause.
See, that's another thing about my reality TV show. Wait till Tay realizes her guy's going to get. He's going to think the moon's a bowl of spaghetti in about 2 years.
Sure.
Because he's had nothing
Kelsey?
but concussions, hasn't he?
That ain't going to last.
Huh? I don't think so either.
Plus you got that brother-in-law. You'd have to put up with the brother-in-law. It was a moron.
Not wearing a shirt, chugging beers, and
Jumping out of the suite.
Oh, God, it was great.
Yeah, unreal. I didn't watch much of them, so I didn't see much of that game. But
There's something off on the whole deal. There's just
Your senses are up?
well, is she the Yoko Ono of the Chiefs?
I think she's getting to the point where she's got to be. What is she? 37 or 8?
No, I think she's a little bit younger than that.
But
in her mid-30s.
But if she wants to pop out a little Swifty, she's going to have to get at it here pretty quick.
I suppose, yeah.
And it doesn't look good if you're just one of those lazy moms and have a surrogate or something,
One of those lazy.
No, I'm not saying if you can't have a baby.
No, it's not what he's
That's not what
saying.
you're saying.
Not what
I'm
he's
just
saying.
if you don't want to go through the hard work of having it, because you know what?
Well, we know what you're saying.
I've never thought it was easy.
Right.
I never claimed it was.
I never thought it was easy.
No.
I don't know. I don't know why they do put up with it. I really don't. After you have one, that's enough.
No more of that.
No more than that. Let's go get a free one someplace.
Thank God you're not going to be at the debate tomorrow. That would have been a good response.
Yes. Well, that'll be a great debate tomorrow because they're just gonna sit there and insult each other the whole time. Yeah, unreal.
Why don't you ask Patrick your question that you asked the crew earlier?
Will Trump be civil?
No,
I don't think he's capable.
no, I don't either.
But it'd be interesting. He could reveal himself.
I think he's gonna win. The more I see it, he's done everything humanly possible
To lose.
to have American hate him, and he keeps moving up in the polls. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. He's done everything imaginable, and it's like, I mean, God Almighty.
See, we were talking about this. He's a contrarian.
Yes, he is.
So his people should say, go out there and be the worst you've ever been.
Yes.
Be as rotten as you possibly can be. Then he'll go out and be nice.
Yeah,
and no one will know what to think.
If he goes out if he goes out there and he's nice, that's not serving his purpose. He's got to insult her and blame her for, people getting killed in Afghanistan and stuff like that. So, I don't know.
Okay.
Hey, that 14-year-old's daddy was a hell of a guy, wasn't he? Buying him a AK-15.
Maybe it's a bad sign when you name a kid after a gun.
Yeah, and then you buy him one.
Then you buy him a
after
weapon.
you lie about it and say, well, we only had hunting guns.
Yeah. Well, Dad's going to jail.
Good.
Yeah, I think that'll straighten things out, I think, once these parents start going to jail.
Good spot for him.
Yeah. Mom, too, might end up in jail.
Really?
Well, she's got a record longer than your arm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, 14, that's a little young. Unbelievable.
Well, that's a hell of a note to end it on.
I guess it is.
It is. Yeah, enjoy the debate. Enjoy the debate. As this is, so these are the finalists, huh? Okay, good enough. Good enough. I still think the only thing she's got going for her is that Robert Kennedy endorsed Trump. This guy, Trump should have kept him in the race because he would have. I mean, you can always contrast yourself to, hey, I'm not so bad. Look at this moron, Unbelievable. Unbelievable. He's unbelievable. Hey, Robert, show us that diary that you had Sexual conquest, will you? That'd be good.
The guy killed a bear and moved it to Central Park. It's a great political world we live in.
Yeah, it is. What the hell?
All right.
What a week here.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
This is Ricey for the Canopy Group. Your kids are back in school, and when they get home, they do their homework some of the time. So why aren't you doing your homework? You have been with that same home and auto insurance company that has only one agent who represents only one insurance company. That's why. You deserve more. Get options. The Canopy Group provides you with 16 options, not just one company. Don't tell your kids, but you can outsource your homework to the Canopy Group. They will find the best insurance coverage for the best price. Visit thecanopygroup.com and let them do the homework for you.